Hello guys, and welcome back to the whiteboard. No, this is just a piece of paper. There seems to be a little bit of confusion about what I'm talking about using a width cap, whether you need to use a width cap in a monitor or not. And I'll try to sum it up like this. Let's say you have a Wells Gardner, I don't know, 4900, and it's in an Atari game. Let's say it's in, well, I don't know, let's say it's in Millipede. Okay, and then you got a Pac-Man game. You need a new monitor, so you take this and you want to put it into Pac-Man. Okay, let's say you have a screen, right? Let me make sure this is still in frame. No, it's not. Let's back up. Okay, and let me adjust. Bear with me. I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. This thing was made to work with Millipede, right? So it's optimized. Now your resolution is going to be 256 by 240. This is optimized for that resolution. So you have 256 horizontal columns, let's call it. 256. Here's 0, boom, boom, boom. Here's 255, right? And then vertical, you got 0 and you got 240. Let's say 239, right? 0 to 239, 0 to 255. That's that resolution. Each one of these little spots gets a pixel. Okay. Now over here you have Pac-Man. Pac-Man displays 288 by 224. So in this one you've got more columns. Go 0 to 287 and 0 to 223. Each one of these gets a pixel. So what's going to happen is if you take, let's say you take this game, or you take this monitor and you put it in this game, what's going to happen is your screen is going to be all of a sudden pushed out like this. You're going to have all of these extra columns on both sides, because this is only meant to display 256, but now you're trying to put 288 in a spot that was designed to display 256. So exaggerated, of course. You're going to be way over this way, and you're going to have less vertical columns too, so it'll be in a little bit, but you won't hardly notice that because there's not a lot, and you can usually adjust this way, but you can't really adjust this way. They say that you can with the horizontal width coil. Put a little screw plastic thing in there and turn it, but that only does minute little stuff. That is not going to fix this. So if you want to use Pac-Man, you want to use this monitor in Pac-Man, you have to change the width coil. Say this width coil is not width coil, width capacitor. Let's say the width capacitor in this is let's say it's 0.33 microfarad at 250 volts. So if you want to shrink this to fit into this, you're going to want to add capacitance. So you would go up to the next size, go to 0.47 microfarad, 250 volts, and you have to find out where that width cap is on the schematic, and you just go up, and that'll take that and it'll put it right into place. So that's what you have to do. That's what I'm talking about with the width why that's like that is because the resolutions, these are, you know, they're engineered to work with a certain game or certain resolution or whatever. That is why you use a width cap. I hope that kind of explains that better. You know, it does matter, the resolutions. If you're trying to swap monitors around and you take and you put this monitor in this game and then you're like, whoa, it's way off the screen and you can't do anything about it. It's going to be off the screen. You have to change that cap. So I hope that explains that. Alright guys, see you on the next repair. Alright, welcome to part 2. This is like an addendum. I deleted the video that I originally posted up on the channel because I wanted to add this to it. Because I don't feel like I did a very good job of explaining what I was trying to explain. Okay, let me try it again. To where it's more... Because I got to thinking about what I was saying. I was like, wow, I don't really even get what I was saying. So I want to try it again. Let's say your monitor, let's take this guy right here, this Wells 4900. The engineers say, okay, we're going to be displaying 256 by 240, so let's optimize this monitor for that resolution. They'll say, they put in a width cap that sets, let's say it sets the size of these columns, okay? So let's imagine that all 256 of these horizontal columns are set to a size that, or all of the available columns. Who knows how many columns this thing can actually, this TV can actually display? But we only need to display 256, so we're going to set the size of the optimized 256. Let's say we're going to set it right here. 0 would be here. 256 is right here. And these guys out here don't matter, right? So that's that. So now we take Pac-Man and we put it in here. And all of a sudden you've got 0 to 256 right here. But we've got an extra 32. We got an extra 32 columns. So we got an extra 16 columns over here. And we got an extra 16 columns over here. So Pac-Man is going to use those 16 columns that are extra. So now your monitor picture is going to be stretched. 16 columns this way, 16 columns that way. So if this was optimized to use the whole screen to fill it up, now you're going to have 16 columns off the screen and 16 columns off the screen over here. So you need to change the size of the columns. We need to shrink the columns so that we can fit 288 columns on the screen now. That's when you change the width cap. It changes the size of the columns, right? And the same thing goes with vertical, but vertical is different. Vertical is always adjustable with a pot. The size of those columns, that's what you're doing when you change the size. When you change that vertical size with the pot, you're changing the size of the columns. You know, horizontal doesn't have that capacity to adjust. That horizontal width coil does not do that. It won't adjust it like that. So I hope that makes it a little bit better. Think of them as changing the column size. In this one right here, this example, they're optimizing 256 columns, where those columns are going to be on the screen. And you put this hardware on this monitor, you're going to have 16 extra columns sticking off the screen on either side. So there, I hope that's a little bit more clear, I think. All right, guys. Thank you, and see you later.